Have you ever wondered why you, the chosen one, have always felt out of place, as if your soul came from a realm that others have long forgotten? This feeling did not begin yesterday. It followed you since the day you opened your eyes to this world. Even as a child, you sensed things others ignored. While your friends laughed freely, you found yourself observing, feeling the weight of moments that seemed invisible to them. You saw truth behind smiles, heard emotions in silence, and somehow understood pain you never lived through. You didn't know it then, but heaven was already whispering to your heart. It was the first sign that you were chosen by God. Your spiritual awakening did not arrive like thunder. It came softly through questions, through loneliness, through quiet nights when the world slept, but your spirit stayed awake, reaching for something unseen. You may have wondered why your path was always different, why you could never fully blend into the crowd. That gentle ache in your chest was not confusion, it was calling. It was God's message today, the same message He sends to God's chosen ones. You are mine. I have marked you with purpose, but awareness always comes with a price. The more you woke up, the more alone you became. You felt the distance growing between you and those who once understood you. Your laughter changed. Your eyes saw deeper. Your words carried weight that unsettled the shallow. So they labeled you too quiet, too strange, too serious, too spiritual. But your soul already knew you were not made to fit in. You were designed to stand apart, to stand as light. This is the first truth of every spiritual awakening. When the spirit begins to rise, the world you once knew begins to shrink. You no longer belong to noise, you belong to silence, to that holy stillness between heaven's breaths. And though this separation feels like heartbreak, it is sacred, for only in that stillness does the divine reveal himself. Many chosen ones carry this secret ache, a loneliness that words cannot describe. You may look around and see others moving easily through life, while your path feels uphill, unseen, misunderstood. But listen closely. Your loneliness is not punishment. It is preparation. The divine isolates before He elevates. He hides His messengers before He releases their message. Even now, heaven is watching you, shaping you, refining your energy so you can carry His prophetic word with strength and purity. Every disappointment that broke your heart was a doorway to discernment. Every rejection was divine protection. Every silent season was heaven, teaching you how to hear His voice beyond human noise. Because you, the chosen one, vibrate on a higher frequency, one that senses truth beneath illusion, light within darkness. The world calls it sensitivity, heaven calls it sight. It is not weakness, it is awareness. And though the people around you may not understand, the divine does. The same God who shaped galaxies marked you for this journey. He planted within you the seed of remembrance that no matter how distant you feel from the world, you are never far from Him. When you sit in silence and feel that gentle warmth rising in your chest, that is His presence reminding you, you were never alone, even when no one heard you. Your path was never about being popular. It was about being purposeful. You were never meant to follow trends. You were meant to set direction. You were never here to echo the world. You were sent to realign it with heaven's rhythm. That is why your spirit can no longer tolerate meaningless noise, empty talk, or shallow connections. You were built for depth, for truth, for light. You are not cold. You are conserving divine fire. Remember, the prophets and saints before you walked the same lonely road. They too were mocked, misunderstood, and rejected before they were revealed. They were refined through silence and raised through obedience. The same sacred pattern repeats through you. You are not an exception, you are continuation. The same flame that burned in their hearts burns quietly in yours. So when you feel misunderstood, do not curse the distance, bless it. For distance is proof that heaven is setting you apart. You are being positioned for something greater, something beyond what ordinary hearts can carry. The world may not yet recognize your light, but heaven already calls you by name. That is the secret strength of God's chosen ones. They shine even when unseen. This is your prophetic word. You are chosen by God not to impress the world, but to transform it. You are the quiet revolution, heaven sent in human form. Your presence itself is proof that light still lives in a weary world. So walk boldly in your difference. Carry it like a crown, not a curse. For what sets you apart is what connects you to the divine. Every time you feel that gentle ache of separation, let it remind you, heaven is near. Every time your tears fall in silence, know that the divine is gathering them as evidence of your faith. And every time you doubt your strength, remember this truth. You were never walking alone. You were being guided by unseen hands toward a destiny only you could fulfill. Take a deep breath now. Let your soul exhale. That vibration in your chest, that peace is your confirmation. The divine is saying, yes, it's you. If this message resonates, type 111 in the comments below. Let the universe know that the chosen ones are awakening. There is a divine rhythm inside you, the chosen one, a vibration that connects your body, your mind, and your soul to the very heartbeat of heaven. Most people never feel it, yet it is there pulsing quietly beneath every thought, every breath, every prayer. It hums in the stillness of your nights, when the world is silent but your spirit stays awake, listening for something beyond the veil. That is the sound of your true nature. It is the energy of one who has been chosen by God. Science may call it resonance, mystics call it aura, but heaven calls it your signature, the unmistakable vibration that belongs only to God's chosen ones. Every soul carries energy, but yours has been refined through awakening. You sense truth faster, you discern emotion deeper, and you feel invisible shifts before they manifest in form. That heightened awareness isn't random. It is a gift that arrives after spiritual awakening. It is God's message today. The more you awaken, the more you begin to operate in energy instead of explanation. When you walk into a room, the atmosphere subtly changes. Some people feel peace without knowing why. Others feel exposed, restless. They don't understand it, but their spirit does. They recognize the energy of the divine, moving through you, the light that carries a prophetic word without a single sentence spoken. Your energy announces what your mouth never has to say. That's why you've always felt different in crowds. You can sense when words are empty, when smiles hide pain, when someone's presence doesn't align with their heart. It can be exhausting, but it is also sacred. You are built to read vibration, not faces. You are meant to interpret light, not noise. And though this gift isolates you at times, it is the same sensitivity that will one day guide thousands toward truth. The world operates on noise fast, chaotic, unfiltered. It thrives on distraction and emotion. But you, the chosen one, are being trained to operate on frequency, quiet, focused, divinely tuned. This is why you can no longer enjoy shallow conversations or meaningless gossip. Your soul has outgrown the static. You are learning to move through energy, to navigate not by logic but by vibration. This is the true spiritual awakening, living as a spirit that simply happens to wear flesh. Every emotion you feel is energy in motion. Every thought you think alters the frequency around you. Fear lowers it. Love amplifies it. Gratitude refines it. Forgiveness expands it into light so pure that darkness loses its grip. This is the invisible law of heaven. What you carry inside, you project into the world. That is why the divine insists on purifying your heart, because only a clear vessel can transmit divine frequency. When you meditate, pray, or simply breathe in silence, your energy synchronizes with the source. It is not fantasy, it is physics meeting faith. Every deep breath is a note in heaven's song, and your heartbeat is the drum that keeps it alive. In those moments, God's chosen ones reconnect to the higher current of creation. That's why solitude feels like medicine to you, because it's where your soul retunes itself to the vibration of God. And yet, the more your frequency rises, the more the world reacts. People who are unhealed will sense your peace as pressure. Those who fear truth will resist your presence. Do not take it personally. They are simply responding to what their spirit is not yet ready to understand. Your light reveals shadows, and some are not ready to see what lies within them. Remember, even Jesus was misunderstood by those he came to heal. So, protect your peace as you would a sacred flame. Not every conversation deserves your words. Not every space deserves your energy. Withdraw when the air feels heavy. Retreat not in fear, but in awareness. Because when your energy is clear, heaven can speak through you effortlessly. You become a divine instrument, one chord in the eternal symphony of light. There is a beauty in realizing that the chosen ones are not trying to control energy. They are learning to flow with it. You don't need to fight darkness. Your frequency dissolves it. You don't need to explain truth. Your presence makes it known. Every time you choose love over reaction, compassion over pride, or silence over chaos, your light strengthens. That is the discipline of God's chosen ones, to vibrate higher, no matter how low the world falls. And through all of this, never forget this power is not yours to boast about. It is God's power moving through you. You are the conduit, not the source. Heaven simply needed a vessel willing to be still enough, pure enough, to let his light flow freely. That is what it means to be chosen by God. Not superiority, but surrender. Each day you live in alignment, the world around you subtly heals. A kind word becomes a ripple of peace. A prayer becomes a wave of protection. A single smile from a heart filled with light can shift another soul's frequency. Why? Without a word. This is how the chosen ones fulfill their mission, not through control, but through resonance. So, when you feel that subtle pulse inside you, that warmth in your chest, remember, it is heaven humming through you. It is confirmation that you are aligned, chosen, and loved. If you feel this frequency within your spirit, that quiet hum of divine energy, comment, why? Let heaven and the world know that your awakening has begun. The deeper your spiritual awakening grows, the more you begin to notice it and the invisible war between your energy and the world's vibration. Every chosen one walks through this battlefield, though few can name it. It isn't fought with words or weapons, but with frequency, with light and shadow colliding in silence. When you awaken, your very presence becomes confrontation, not because you are aggressive, but because your energy unmasks everything around you. Your calm exposes restlessness. Your honesty reveals deception. Your peace agitates chaos. And that is why God's chosen ones often feel attacked for simply existing. You carry a frequency that the world doesn't know how to process. The moment the chosen one enters a room, energies begin to shift. Conversations change tone. People glance your way without knowing why. Some move closer, others distance themselves. They are not responding to your personality. They are responding to your energy, to the vibration of heaven that rests upon you. You've felt it, haven't you? That heaviness that falls when you enter a space filled with gossip, fear, or envy. That unease when you try to speak truth in an environment that worships comfort and pretense. Your body feels it first, the tightening chest, the subtle fatigue, because your spirit senses imbalance long before your mind does. You are not weak. You are simply chosen by God to detect what others cannot. This is God's message today. You are not being rejected, you are being refined. Each clash you feel is heaven, training your spirit to recognize energy, to discern light from shadow, truth from imitation. Because not every warm smile carries peace, and not every soft voice carries purity. You, the chosen one, have been gifted with spiritual radar, an inner knowing that alerts you when something holy is missing. The world, however, calls this overthinking, but heaven calls it protection. When your soul vibrates at divine frequency, it naturally exposes lower vibrations around it. And instead of understanding, people often project. They will mislabel your calm as arrogance, your silence as indifference, your discernment as judgment. But it is not you they resist, it is the mirror you hold. You remind them of what their spirit has forgotten. This tension is the hallmark of every spiritual awakening. When God's chosen ones carry light, they become living revelations, walking reminders that darkness still exists and must answer to truth. Your peace unsettles chaos because it cannot manipulate what it cannot match. The world thrives on reaction, but you were built for restraint. You were chosen to stay still while storms rage, to carry heaven's tone when earth trembles. So when people turn away, when situations fall apart, when energy feels hostile, don't fight it. Observe. Bless it. Step back. Because what resists your energy is what is no longer aligned with your purpose. Let the friction purify you, not poison you. That is the wisdom of God's chosen ones. They fight not to destroy darkness, but to stay anchored in light. Even Christ walked through this. He was surrounded by crowds, yet felt the loneliness of being unseen. He felt power leave him when others touched his garment, energy exchanged through faith. And still, he withdrew to quiet places to restore what the world drained. If even the Son of God needed solitude to recharge his spirit, so will you. You are not broken because you need space. You are holy because you protect your sacred frequency. Each time you walk away from chaos instead of engaging it, you are choosing mastery over reaction. You are learning to rule energy rather than be ruled by it. That is the silent authority of the chosen ones, to stand in divine alignment while the world spins in confusion. And yes, there will be moments when it hurts, when your peace feels like isolation, when your light feels like exile. But remember, every prophet walked this valley. Every messenger of God was misunderstood before they were magnified. You are not being punished, you are being purified. Your empathy, your sensitivity, your depth, they are not burdens, they are your assignment. The people who mock your depth now will one day seek it. Those who resist your peace will crave it when their world collapses. Because your energy carries healing that cannot be denied forever. It is your silent sermon, your prophetic word written in frequency, not ink. The time will come when they will recognize that what they felt around you was never arrogance, it was an echo of heaven. So, learn to walk as light without needing approval. The sun does not apologize for shining. It simply rises and lets the world adjust. You, too, are that light. Your job is not to make others comfortable, it is to make them conscious. When your presence awakens discomfort, it is only because truth has entered the room. Let your peace be your proof. Let your patience be your weapon. Let your love be your boundary. Because every clash is not an attack, it is calibration. The divine is aligning you, fine-tuning your energy so that your spirit becomes unshakable. And when your frequency stabilizes, nothing external can move you again. Do not fear rejection, it is redirection. Do not fear isolation, it is elevation. You are being trained to walk as one who carries heaven's frequency on earth. And once you master this, once you stop absorbing the world and start transmitting God's peace, you become unstoppable. This is God's message today. The pain you feel from this clash is temporary, but the strength you gain will last forever. What once wounded you will one day worship with you. The same energy that tries to oppose you now will eventually align with your light. For the chosen cannot be broken by what they were sent to heal. So, lift your head, chosen one. This battle is not to destroy you, it's to strengthen your signal. Heaven is training you to carry light where fear still reigns. And soon, those who once resisted you will seek your wisdom. The energy that once made you feel isolated will become your greatest ministry. If you've ever felt this energetic clash, if your light has been misunderstood, comment 444 below. Declare that your frequency is protected, your purpose is divine, and your awakening is unstoppable. There comes a moment in every spiritual awakening when silence becomes your only teacher. After the noise of confusion fades and the world no longer recognizes you, you find yourself alone, not abandoned, but chosen. This quiet season is not punishment, it is transformation. You, the chosen one, were never meant to remain in the crowd. God separates his warriors to refine their strength. When you are alone, the echoes of the world disappear, and what remains is truth, pure, undeniable truth. That stillness you feel is not emptiness. It is the sacred space where heaven whispers. In solitude, God's chosen ones are reshaped from within. The divine uses isolation as a forge, where your faith is tempered, your vision sharpened, and your energy renewed. Every night you cried, every prayer that felt unanswered, every moment you questioned your worth, all of it was part of God's design. This is God's message today. You were not forgotten. You were being prepared. Remember this. Before every great revelation comes separation. Before the prophets carried light to nations, they walked through deserts. Before Christ performed miracles, he withdrew to pray. And before the chosen ones rise, they must first be hidden. Your loneliness is the veil God uses to protect what he is perfecting. You have been pulled away from people, places, and patterns that could no longer walk with your destiny. You may not understand it now, but heaven does. The isolation that once broke you is the same silence that will rebuild you. Because solitude is not a void, it's an altar. It's where your soul kneels before truth and is crowned by peace. In this sacred quiet, your energy begins to heal. The wounds caused by misunderstanding start to close. You no longer crave validation because your spirit has learned to feed directly from the divine. The light that once flickered in exhaustion begins to burn steady again. You feel it, that subtle warmth in your chest when you pray, that calm that arrives with no explanation. That is God, refilling what the world drained. So, embrace the solitude. It's the holy classroom of the spiritual awakening. In this stillness, you begin to hear heaven clearly. The confusion fades. Your vision becomes focused. Your heart beats in rhythm with divine purpose. You realize you were never truly alone, only surrounded by angels unseen. Those days when you felt invisible were your initiation into clarity. The silence was your training ground for discernment. God was teaching you how to listen without words, how to see without eyes, how to move without fear. He was teaching you that peace is not found in people, it is found in presence. This is why the chosen ones often disappear before they rise. They go through seasons where no one understands them, where doors close and connections fade. But when they return, they come back radiant, anchored, wise, and untouchable by chaos. Because in solitude, they found something no crowd could offer: divine certainty. If you are in that season now, if you feel unseen, unheard, or forgotten, hear this prophetic word. You are not being buried, you are being planted. Your roots are growing deeper, unseen beneath the soil, preparing to sustain the destiny that's coming. And when you emerge, your fruit will be undeniable. So let peace find you where you are. Let silence be your sanctuary, not your enemy. Because in this sacred pause, God is still speaking. This is his message. Rest, my child. You are not lost, you are becoming. If this message resonates with your soul, type 777 below to confirm your divine transformation. You have walked through darkness, silence, and storms. You have felt the ache of being misunderstood and the sacred weight of isolation. But now, the chosen one, you stand at the edge of revelation, the moment where everything begins to make sense. Your journey was never about survival. It was about alignment. You were not being punished, you were being prepared. The energy that once made you feel misplaced was not a curse, it was a compass. And that compass has always pointed toward your purpose. You were chosen by God to carry a frequency that heals, awakens, and reminds others of the truth. You are a vessel of divine resonance, a walking prophetic word. Every breath you take, every word you speak, shifts the atmosphere around you. This is God's message today. The world does not need louder voices, it needs purer energy. And that energy is you. The moment you accepted your spiritual awakening, heaven began to move through your life differently. People left, doors closed, paths changed, not because you failed, but because your vibration no longer matched what once surrounded you. The divine had to clear the noise so you could hear his rhythm. And now, that rhythm has become your mission. When you smile, light spreads. When you speak truth, illusions break. When you love purely, darkness trembles. Because God's chosen ones are not ordinary souls. They are divine transmitters, channels of heaven's will on earth. You were never here to blend in. You were here to illuminate. Look at how far you've come. Every trial refined your discernment. Every loss deepened your empathy. Every lonely night stretched your spirit closer to God. And now, your energy hums in harmony with divine timing. This is no longer about being seen. It's about being sent. You, the chosen one, are part of the spiritual remnant, rising quietly across the world, souls awakened, refined, and commissioned for light. Each carries a unique vibration, yet all are connected by one divine frequency: love. Not love as emotion, but love as power, the same force that moves galaxies and heals hearts. This love is the final purpose of your energy. It is why you were separated. It is why you were misunderstood. It is why you were awakened. Because love, pure and unshaken, is the highest vibration of all, and the chosen ones are the keepers of that frequency. So when fear calls, answer with peace. When chaos surrounds, respond with calm. When others doubt your light, let your life be proof. Because you were chosen by God not to escape darkness, but to transform it. That is your true purpose, to walk as light in places where hope seems lost. And now that you know who you are, stand tall, walk with grace, carry your energy like a crown. Let the world feel heaven when you enter a room. This is what it means to be part of God's chosen ones. Not perfection, but presence. Not pride, but purpose. When you live in alignment with that truth, miracles follow. Doors open where walls once stood. Peace arrives where pain once lingered. Your very existence becomes a testimony that spiritual awakening is real, that the divine still walks among us. So breathe, chosen one. Your destiny is not ahead of you, it's within you. The energy you carry is not small, not fragile, not accidental. It is sacred, measured, and divinely orchestrated for this very moment. You were born for such a time as this. If this message touched your soul, comment 777 below the number of divine completion. And if you feel called to walk this journey with the chosen ones, subscribe today. Together, we rise not to be worshipped, but to awaken.